In this lesson, we're going to review the Countifs formula. The Countifs formula is a formula used to apply multiple criteria to a range of cells to count the number of times it meets all of those criteria. If we take a look at the formula syntax, we can see that it is comprised of three items. The formula contains the criteria range 1, the criteria 1, and if applicable, you can apply more than one criteria. So there would be criteria range 2 and criteria 2 and so on. Note that criteria range 1 and criteria 1 are a pair. Similarly, criteria range 2 and criteria 2 are a pair as well. The criteria range 1 is the first range in which to evaluate the criteria set in criteria 1. Criteria 1 is the criteria in the form of a number, expression, cell reference, or text that define which cells are to be counted within the first criteria range. Let's take a look at an example. In our example, the general manager of a second-hand car dealership wants to know how many cars were sold for certain car models at specific locations during the year. The financial analyst generates a sales journal located below containing the raw data of car sales with product code, product description, and branch dealer location. The financial analyst can use the Countifs formula to summarize the number of car sales by branch and product description for the general manager. So as you can see in the data table below, we have the summarization of the branch location and product description, which the general manager wants to know. And we also counted for the general manager the number of sales for each product within their respective branches in cells E23 through 26. Down below, starting on row 43, we have the raw data from the sales journal, which contains the date, product code, product description, branch location, and sales revenue for fiscal year 2019. So in this case, criteria range 1 is going to be used for determining the specific branch location. So column F of our table. Criteria 1 is the formula, part of the formula that is used to determine the specific branch that we want to identify. So if you look back at the data table starting in row 22, you'll see that we want to find branch locations Alabama, California, Florida, and Washington, which are in cells C23 through C26. Criteria range 2 is the part of the formula that's used to determine what product description should be counted. And the product description is in column E of our data table. And the product descriptions that the general manager wanted to know are located in cells D23 through D26. Note that for the purposes of reporting back to the general manager wanted to know specifically the sedan sales in Alabama, the sport utility vehicle sales in California, hatchback sales in Florida, and convertible sales in Washington. Our Countifs formula works in a way where if we use multiple conditions, both of those conditions need to be met in order for it to return a result. So that will work in the example that we're trying to achieve here. So let's take a look at cell E23, which has the first Countifs formula. And as you can see, it's performing a Countifs of the Alabama and sedan sales. So let's take a look at what the formula says. So first it says Countifs, open parentheses, and then the criteria range 1 is cells F44 through F103, which is the criteria range 1, i.e. branch location. And the branch location data is just from our table. Now, the criteria 1 is the branch location that we're trying to look up, and that's cell C23, i.e. Alabama. So if Alabama is found within the branch location, then that'll be a relevant match. Next, we have criteria range 2 in the formula, which is cells E44 through E103. And that's the product description contained within the data table. Next, we have criteria 2, which is cell D23, i.e. sedan. And again, if that's found within the criteria range 2, the product description in the table, then there'll be a match. Again, note that criteria 2 and criteria range 2 are a pair, criteria 1 and criteria range 1 are a pair. So if those conditions are met, it's going to count the number of instances that there is a match between those conditions. If I press enter, we can see that there are 4 matches, and therefore 4 times during the year there were sales in Alabama for sedans. And if we drag that formula down, we can see that there were 2 sales in California for sport utility vehicles, 6 sales in Florida for hatchbacks, and only 1 sale in Washington for convertibles. So the Countifs formula is powerful in the sense that it has the flexibility of allowing for multiple conditions to be set. In this example, we only set 2 criteria, but we could have applied further criteria and used the date column or the product code column, but it was not necessary for this example because we only wanted to report back to the general manager on branch location and product description. Hey guys, thanks for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe from you. And if you want to learn more about Microsoft Excel, check out these videos above. And don't forget to check out our website, commercecurve.com, where we have lots of in-depth finance and accounting courses available with full training workbooks. All of our courses come with complete workbooks of lessons, examples, pre-built financial models, and training video. Hope to see you there.